What is up, everyone? Please take a second to hit that like button. The more likes that we get in a short period of time, the more people the algorithm will bring into the chat to come hang out with us and see what's going on. So please hit that like button. Let me know how you're doing. And happy freedom. Well, this was a shit show a minute ago. Old man Walter, he is in Hagerstown, Maryland. And he's supposed to be speaking about how great he is and all the great things he's done and yada, yada, yada. But he decided to go live 25 minutes early when I wasn't ready. And then when I went to go live, everything fell apart. And so we're a little bit late, and we're just gonna, we're gonna watch it at our own leisure. But I just wanted to take a second to inform you guys and let the chat fill up and stuff. Let's get this started.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Volvo North America's powertrain operation in Hagerstown. My name is Sam Leedy, and I'm a material handler at Hagerstown, but I've previously worked in several roles inside the plant, including assembly and engine test. I've been a Volvo Group employee for 24 years, and I'm proud to be part of building America's best powertrain to power its best trucks. I'm so grateful to be here with all of you today, especially during National Manufacturing Day, because it recognizes the hard work we do here every day at this site. I've been married for 29 years to my beautiful wife, Angie, and I have 3 great children, 2 of whom which work here. I love seeing Volvos and Macs when I go down the highway. I know its powertrain is built in this factory in Hagerstown, and I know it's supporting the local community. It makes a world of difference when we have a pro-union, pro-worker president in the White House who cares about making our supply chains more resilient, strengthening our domestic vehicle manufacturing, and fighting for good union jobs. I'd like to personally thank you, Mr. President, for visiting Hagerstown today, where our UAW members proudly build heavy-duty diesel engines, transmissions, electromobility power boxes, and axles for Mack and Volvo Mack trucks, Prevost coaches, and Volvo buses. I have witnessed firsthand the changes in manufacturing during the past few decades, and I have been grateful for my union and Volvo Group, which has enabled me to provide a better life for my family. It also has enabled me to send my 3 sons to college. So thank you, Mr. President, for the work you're doing to make sure that we build more things in this country again.
Prostitute.
On behalf of the 1,300 UAW members at Local 171, the changes in manufacturing during the past few decades, and all of the Volvo Group employees here in Hagerstown, let me say how pleased and proud we are to have you in the White House. Now let's get to why we're here. It's my honor.
Not a very good public speaker, but he's still better in Kareem.
President Joe Biden.
Thank you so much, Mercy Rain, for continuing the membership program for 14 months. You're officially a hooligan. I appreciate you. Look, old man Walter. You should have rode a bike. To hell with jogging. Should have rode a bike. Pop a wheelie. Do a backflip. He totally he looks just like a person with a mask on.
Please have a seat. Thank you very much. Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America.
Eat shit.
Made in America. And that's not hyperbole. I'm not joking about that, as you know. And I want to say up front,
He didn't waste no time.
management here,
It's all hyperbole.
I'm proud of them. I'm a union guy. And I tell you what, I made it real clear to everybody, whether speaking to the National Chamber of Commerce or the Business Roundtable, the reason I'm the most pro-union president in American history is because you're the single best workers in the world. Not a joke. You know, a lot of people think that you just show up and you got a job. How about those 3, 4, 5 years sometimes of apprentice work that you're about getting full, it's like going back to school. And so what I've seen happen now is everybody's figuring out that the supply chain and only on-time purchases is a big problem. Now we're figuring it out. If it's made in America, we're going to invent it in America, it's made in America. And so, look, I want to thank you, Sam, for that introduction. Thank you, Mayor Keller, for welcoming us to your city and for getting your 2 kids you got to get dressed on a Friday to come and see me. I hope they'll forgive me for that. And it's great to be with Congressman David Trone, who's always working for the working people of this district on mental health and addiction and support of our veterans and modernizing our infrastructure, like expanding I-81, which is going to be expanded because of him. I want to commend the terrific leaders who couldn't be here today. Steny Hoyer, who leads the Democrats in the House, and Senators Cardin and Van Hollen, who are close and dear friends. And look, I want to thank Donna Edwards of Maryland's State Federation of Labor and all the proud members of the United Auto Workers here today. This is National Manufacturing Day, and this is starting to mean something again. National Manufacturing Day. When we celebrate workers.
Manufacturing. Just bow.
Where is it written?
Stupid.
America can't be the leading manufacturer in the world again. Where is that written? I'm here at this Volvo plant to thank the workers and management for building heavy-duty engines, transmissions, axles for trucks and buses, and parts of electric vehicles of the future. And like the United Steelworkers at the cement plant here in Hagerstown, we're manufacturing cleaner cement for our nation's roads and highways. People don't even realize how much cement, the way it's made, causes environmental problems. The older, dirty cement accounts for 7% of global emissions. Well, guess what? Clean cement makes a gigantic difference. And like all the workers I met yesterday at the IBM plant in Poughkeepsie, New York, where they're investing $20 billion in manufacturing advanced quantum computers here in the United States again, here in the United States. And the workers in Syracuse, where the company Micron is investing $100 billion to manufacture computer chips, the biggest investment of its kind in America, biggest investment ever in the world. And we all know it's been 4 or 5 years in this country, the last 4 or 5, a lot of things have been tough for people. A lot of things have been tough, and they're still tough for many. There's also a bright spot where America is reasserting its power, where Americans are reasserting themselves. Where is it written, as I said, that America can't lead the world in manufacturing again? We've already created over 628 or 38,000 manufacturing jobs just since I've been president, because we're making it happen right here in America. Companies are investing in America, and we're all making sure government delivers. The infrastructure law, the CHIPS and Science Act. I don't know about you, but as my dad used to say, people just are worrying about putting 3 squares on the table every day and not having to deal with all the politics that are going on and all the
Throwing 3 squares on the table? I ain't never done that.
But we made historic government investment in America and spurring his incredible private sector investment in America. If I could divert for just a second, we had a piece of legislation led by your congressman that in fact says that we're going to invest $368 billion in dealing with the environment. Well, the major article in a major publication yesterday from the industry. That's generating $1.7 billion in investment. Because guess what? We give a tax credit to somebody, and guess what? Companies want to build that product because it's going $1.7 billion, meaning literally hundreds of thousands of new jobs. Not a joke. All across America, we're proving made in America isn't just a slogan, it's a reality. We're proving that our best days are ahead of us, not behind us. Just look at today's jobs report. Our economy created 263,000 jobs last month. That's 10 million jobs since I've come into office. That's the fastest job growth at any point of any president in all of American history. Historic progress. The unemployment rate remains at a historic low, 3.5% unemployment. That includes the lowest unemployment among Hispanic Americans ever in the history of this country, and the second lowest employment among black teenagers ever. And this recovery has been the fastest increase of people re-entering the workforce of any modern economic recovery. But there's something else. Our job market continues to show resilience as we navigate through this economic transition we're in. For some time, I've been saying that what we need to do in this transition, we have to move from historically strong economic recovery to a more steady.
He's going through a transition.
We need to bring inflation down without giving up all the historic economic progress that working class and middle class people have made. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Over the past 4 months, we've created.
He's not going to be Jill Biden's husband. He'll be Jill Biden's partner.
1,000 jobs a month. That's down from the 450,000 jobs a month prior to the prior 4 months, and down from the 600,000 jobs a month to the 4 months before that. The pace of job growth is cooling while still powering our recovery forward. Wage growth for workers remains solid, down from historic high pace months ago, but still growing for workers who deserve a raise. And this is the progress we need to see. In the short term, a transition to a more stable growth that continues to deliver for workers and families while bringing inflation down. In the long term, the economy built on a firmer foundation. We still have a lot of work to do, but we're building a different economy than before. A better one, a stronger one. Not trickle-down economy. That never helped my family very much in Claymont, trickle down. This is an economy built on building from the middle out and the bottom up, not from the top down. And when that happens, everyone does well. The poor have a ladder up, the middle class do well, and the wealthy do very well. They're not hurt at all. That's an economic vision I offered to America when I ran, and I'm pushing on. And that's what I want to talk about today, and how our Republican colleagues have a very different view. And I know many of you are probably Republicans, but many of my Republican friends are basically arguing that good news for the economy is bad news.
About to start crashing and burning.
As if they're rooting for fewer jobs and lower wages. It's all part of this trickle-down mentality that says it doesn't matter what's happening on Main Street. What really matters is what's happening on Wall Street. If Wall Street's doing well, everybody's doing well. Well, I noticed that the previous 4 years we weren't doing that well. Wall Street was doing well, and then that took a tumble. That's not my plan. We can continue to grow our economy in a stable and sustainable way. We can build on an economy that works for everyone. Today, we're going to do something that our Republican colleagues in the Congress don't want us to do. They love to attack the Democrats. They say for what we've done. But they really don't want to see what their plan is. I doubt any of you can tell me what the Republican reelection plan is this time out. What's their platform if they take control of Congress? Let's start with inflation. Let me tell you how I think about it. I think about it the way my dad used to talk about it. My dad was a well-read guy. His greatest regret, he never went to college, had to leave Scranton because when coal died, everything died with it, and we moved down to Claymont, Delaware, a little steel town at the time. But it's the way most people at home deal with these things. You talk about it around the kitchen table. Do we have enough money to cover all the bills for the month and all the necessities that aren't regular bills? And if we do that, do we have a little bit of breathing room, my dad used to say. Just a little bit of breathing room after that's done. We don't have to worry. Well, that's what we're trying to do. Give families a little bit of breathing room. And that's what we've done. We passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which the name doesn't matter a lot to people, but it's going to give Medicare, which a lot of us have been fighting for, the power to negotiate lower prescription drug prices. We pay the highest drug prices of any developed nation in the world. It's going to limit out-of-pocket costs for people on Medicare, no matter what their drug. As you know, some who have cancer, their drug costs are $14,000, $15,000 a year, literally, for the drugs they need. Well, prescription drugs for seniors cannot exceed $2,000.
How much does Hunter pay for the drugs he needs every year?
That they owe. It can't exceed $2,000 a year. It's going to cap the cost of insulin for seniors on Medicare to $35 a month instead of 30 times that. How many of you know somebody who has type 2 diabetes and needs that insulin? Well, guess what? It costs a whole hell of a lot of money. It costs a lot of money for children. I was in Virginia not long ago, and a woman stood up and said, I have 2 kids with type 2 diabetes, and we have to split them. We have to break up what we have. We don't have enough money because they didn't have the insurance. They weren't covered. And guess what? Well, how do you look at your child knowing that they have type 2 diabetes and there's nothing you can do about it? Not a joke. This is the United States of America, for God's sake. Well, the bill I introduced, said we're going to...
They're trying to show that guy like he's in agreement, really suffering from drug addiction and alcoholism.
It costs $10 to make it and to package it. 10. T-E-N, $10. And they're charging as high as $650, $700 a month for it. Well, the original bill I introduced said we're going to take care of everybody who was on insulin. My friends and the other team were able to get enough votes to knock out that for anybody but for the seniors. You know, we've locked in savings and health care premiums for 1 million of the people on the Affordable Care Act. You know, one of the things that people forget is without the Affordable Care Act, anybody who had a pre-existing condition could not get insurance. Let me say it again. You could not get insurance if you didn't have a whole hell of a lot of money to buy a private policy. Well, it guarantees that people with pre-existing conditions can have insurance. We're making it possible for families to save thousands of dollars in energy savings in the legislation we have. Which, as I said, is going to bring $1.7 trillion off the market and investing in other jobs. And folks, for the first time in a long time, we're going to make sure the biggest corporations begin to pay their fair share of federal taxes with a minimum tax rate of 15%. In 2020, of the Fortune 500 companies, 52 made $40 billion and didn't pay a single penny in taxes. I come from the corporate state of the world across the border in Delaware. I know corporations. I got elected 6 times there. But everybody should be paying something. Everybody should be paying something. And we're doing all this while reducing the deficit. My friends on the other team talk about how we're big spenders. Well, guess what? They passed a $2 trillion tax cut for the top 1%, basically, in corporate America, and didn't pay for a penny of it. My first year in office, we reduced the federal debt by $350 billion. $350. And this year, we're reducing it by more than $1 trillion while we're doing all the things we're doing.
He's making faces like he's filling that diaper right now.
Drug prices are going to reduce it over the next 10 years, another $300 billion over the next decade. Every single Democrat voted for the Inflation Reduction Act, and every single Republican voted against it. Not only that, they're telling us that the #1 priority is to repeal, if they win, they're saying they're going to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act if they gain control of the Congress. Let's be crystal clear what that means. Republicans take control of the Congress means the power we just gave Medicare to negotiate drug prices goes away, gone. Prices go back up. If Republicans take control of the Congress, the $2,000 cap on prescription drug costs we just passed goes away, gone. If they take back the control of the Congress, the $35 a month cap on insulin for folks on Medicare we just passed goes away, gone. The savings on health care premiums we just got for 1 million Americans for Affordable Care Act, gone. And of course, it's not just an Inflation Reduction Act they want to get rid of, they still want to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. That means an end to protection for millions of people with pre-existing conditions who rely on the Affordable Care Act. Gone. Now, when it comes to taxes, if Republicans get their way, they're going to get rid of the corporate minimum tax. I'm not talking about getting rid of your taxes, but the corporate minimum tax. The biggest corporations can go back to paying 0 in federal income tax. These are facts. Check them out. And folks, it's not just the Inflation Reduction Act. They're coming after your Social Security and Medicare as well. I know that sounds bizarre, but look it up. Senator in charge of electing Republicans in the U.S. Senate this year has proposed a plan to put Social Security and Medicare on the chopping block every 5 years. That means every 5 years, Congress is going to have to vote to either cut, reduce, completely eliminate, or vote for Medicare and Social Security again. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think? But that's not enough. You've been paying into Social Security and Medicare since you started working when you were 16 years old. And then there's a senator from Wisconsin, Ron Johnson. He thinks waiting 5 years is too long. And he says Social Security and Medicare should be in the chopping block every single year. If Congress doesn't vote to keep it, it goes away. Affirmative vote to keep it. You know the games that can be played in Congress, from everything from the dealing with needing 60 votes in the Senate and so on. And it's not just Social Security and Medicare. He wants to put everything on the federal budget. Veterans benefits would have to come up every single year. It's not just this morning. I saw there's a report. You guys can, as they say, as my grandkids say, Google it. But a report that came out on CNN, it says, Republicans call Biden infrastructure program socialism. And then they ask for the money. And it goes through all of Republicans, the most conservative Republicans who call it socialism, and how they're asking for it. A guy named Paul Gosar, he's written 3 separate letters to the administration asking for projects in his district. He says they'd enhance the quality of life, they'd ease congestion, boost the economy. Voted against it, says it's all socialism. Go down the list. Kentucky Representative Andy Barr, the biggest socialist agenda. 3 different projects he wants, citing the importance of the safety and growth of his district. Rand Paul, I can go down the list, look it up. Socialism. I didn't know there were that many socialist Republicans. Think about it. I'm serious. Let's get serious about it.
What are you saying, old man Walter?
Regular people like I grew up. Folks, look, you can't make this stuff up. You got to say, and I got to say, I was surprised to see so many socialists in the Republican caucus. And folks, here's the bottom.
For a second there, I thought he had a Nazi flag behind him.
These historic victories we just won for the American people are going to be taken away. Every kitchen table cost is going to go up, not down. And I realize costs are going up on food, and I was able to bring gasoline down well over $1.60, but it's
for a week. Yeah, it only went down for a week. It went right back up.
The cost of your prescription drugs and healthcare, energy, they'll all go up. Your protection of pre-existing conditions are taken away. Your Social Security and Medicare are going to be in a chopping block. But they don't want you to know that. They're not campaigning on it, but that's what they are saying. That's the documents they're sending out. Folks, when it comes to the next Congress, this isn't a referendum. It's a choice. It's a choice between 2 very different ways of looking at the economy. You got over 200 and some people in the Congress who still think the last election wasn't fair, that it was stolen. I stole the election. Even though every major Republican judge in the Supreme Court said, no, there's no evidence of any of that. None. But I stole the election. Folks, you know, we talk about democracy, whether it's at risk. Well, democracy is at risk in most places when the only definition of whether you win, you either have to win the election or it's been stolen. When in fact you have, in fact you're in a situation where, you know, a group of people attack the Capitol like we've never seen, smash down the doors, go after people, 3 cops end up dying, so on and so forth. And they're referred to as patriots? Patriots? That's democracy? Well, look, there's different ways of looking at our country. One is to view it from Park Avenue, which says helps the very wealthy and maybe it'll trickle down to everyone else. If Park Avenue is doing well, we're all doing well. The other view is from Scranton, Pennsylvania, where I grew up, or view it here in Hagerstown. The belief that the backbone of America, the people who get up every single morning and go to work and break their necks and making a living, the working class and the middle class, that's who built this country. And by the way, the middle class built America.
Pretty sure the phrase is breaking their backs, but okay.
Class. For real. And folks, that's who our economy should work for.
I'm gonna be pissed if my channel gets deleted because he said that shit.
We've faced some of the most difficult challenges in our history. We're making real progress. Helping folks just a little bit more and giving them a little bit more breathing room. We just have to keep going. And I know we can. For everything we've been through, I've never been more optimistic about America's prospects in my entire career, my word. I've never been more optimistic. Just remember who in hell we are. We're the United States of America. There's nothing we've ever set our mind to. We've not been
Looking like Hitler.
folks.
Could you imagine seeing Trump mad like that? It would be all over the news forever.
So that's my hope.
CNN would be like, it's worse than 9/11.
There'll be a little return to sanity. We'll stop this bitterness that exists between the parties.
Come on, man.
And have people working together. Because I tell you what, we can own the 21st century. Not a joke. We can own. There's not a single other nation in the world, not a single other nation in the world is well positioned as the United States of America is. It's because of you all. Thank you very much. May God bless you all. May God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Holy. Old man Walter, he must be feeling the pressure. I heard he is trying to liberate everyone that has any kind of weed charges that are felonies or something like that. I seen some talk about that. He's talking about reclassing or rescheduling marijuana as a different class, because right now it's considered as bad as heroin and crack and all that stuff, even though it's not. But I don't know. First that, now the Hitler fist during the speech and angry screaming to the 20 people that support him in the country. I don't know. Looks like desperation to me. Anyways, let's get ready for the Pledge of Allegiance. Just give me a second here. All right, hooligans, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, hooligans. Well, that is that. I'm going to read through the chat here really quick. Do these shout outs really quick. Thank you so much, Mercy, Rain, Susan, and Proud Ankle for continuing the membership program. You guys are amazing and officially hooligans. I appreciate all of you. Let me read through this chat really quick. Oh, also, I am still working on the website. I was really hoping that the website would be open for all of you to go check out by now. Having issues with the group and sign-in stuff. I'm trying to make it all flush so you can sign in and access everything with one sign-in. They're trying to jerk me around and make it so you got to sign in to do the chat, and then you got to sign in to do this, and then you got to sign in and do that, and it's making it complicated, and I don't want that. So going through the steps to refine everything, so when you guys land on the website, you'll just everything will be smooth. You can check out how cool everything is. The mods are all there right now, hanging out and stuff. So they're witnessing the mayhem that's in there. Everything's fine one day, and then in the middle of the night, there's 16 new tabs and all kinds of stuff spread all over the pages and stuff. Because I'm just working nonstop. I think I slept 3 hours or something last night. I was up till like 4 in the morning working on it, and then I was up early working on it. What's up, Klaus Daniels? Talking to customer service and stuff, trying to get things worked out, trying to even have code put together by the employees over at Wix and 2 or 3 other companies all working together to try and get our sign-in features synchronized and everything. And once it's smooth, I will let all of you in. Until then, join the Hooligan community, join Gilded or Discord, whichever you prefer. Gilded, I think, is a little bit better, but those will be the first hooligans that are allowed into the website. The notification is going to hit the Hooligan community first, because I would like everyone to move over to the website where you're not being censored and we have full control over everything. The only community guidelines I've wrote so far is the same ones that are in the chat that you're in right now. Don't be racist. Don't, write threatening messages. Don't be hateful to other hooligans. And don't use my website to break the law. That's it. That's the only community guidelines. I could write 120,000 pages of rules for you to follow like YouTube, but we're not going to do that. So I am working really hard to make that a great thing for all of us every day until the job is done. And then when it's done, we have a bunch of fun stuff that's going to happen. I'm still working on Hooligan Bingo. We are going to do the call-in show and all that stuff, but I got to get this important stuff taken care of before we start making that other content. Also, go down the Linktree list. Follow me on everything, all the social media stuff. But also go check out Hooligan Klaus. He's got his own channel. I have Poppin' Packs with JeffMAC, which is like collectibles and opening Pokemon cards and stuff that I'm doing on another channel. And also make sure you go follow the JeffMAC Live channel, because we are still under this strike threat over on the JeffMAC YouTube channel. I was actually looking at the calendar, and we have like 33 days or something like that. If we can make it the next 33 days without getting another strike, we will no longer be at a code red. We won't have to worry so much about the channel being deleted. But the way YouTube gets down is, 32 days from now, they'll just take my channel out. We are still under threat. I know I haven't been pushing it that much lately because I know I'm burning you guys out with it. But to avoid all of that, join the Hooligan community. When the website's available, we'll be golden. Just want to keep you guys up to date. Yeah, I think that's it. So big shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership program, or purchased any merch. I appreciate all of you, and I would not be able to do this without you. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Hold on, I think we got some shout outs here. I don't want you guys being left out before we wrap this up. I try to reach everyone. Thank you so much, Annette, for continuing the membership program for 8 months. You're officially a hooligan. Thank you so much, Music Maker, for continuing the membership program for 14 months. You're officially a hooligan. Thank you so much, Annette, for the $5 donation. Thank you so much, Music Maker, for the $10 donation. Thank you so much, Crusader, for the $5 donation. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. It's a big shout out to all of you, and I would not be able to do this without you guys. So thank you so much for all your support. I will see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.